Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to dive into my stash and we're going to make a double page layout using the Secret Garden. This is a paper pack. It is retired, but this came from close to my heart as they were closing out, and it was one of the paper packs that came over to Stampin' Up from close to my heart. But I'm wanting to do a layout today and I thought this paper would be absolutely beautiful. This paper set has lots of florals. You can see all the floral patterns. It has some that are larger scale, some that are smaller scale. And then we also have a sticker sheet. So we'll pull some of these stickers off here in just a little bit and add to our page. But for today's photos, I am going to document going to visit my little granddaughter. And I took her some bubble guns, not knowing that she is absolutely into bubbles. So we had a great time playing with her bubble gun. She loved chasing everyone around. There's her and her daddy. But she absolutely loved these bubble guns. And I'm going to do a flip flap. I'll show you how that's going to work here in just a second. Let me get this all moved off and we'll get started. All right, I'm bringing in my mats and I've already adhered a white base, just a plain white cardstock. We'll use that to build our layout on. And let's go ahead and bring those photos back in. I kind of have a placement already picked out. I've been looking at a few sketches here and there. But we're going to lay these out. I'm thinking I want them in this position, and this right here is going to be a flip flap. And I have already gotten those pictures glued back to back. So that will set in a flip flap here on the outside as soon as I get that done. But we're going to put this one to the side for now because this one is going to be on the bottom. And then I have some photos here of her playing with her little bubbles. And we're going to put this one here. And we'll see how that works out. I have one more photo. I haven't decided if I want to put it here or I might slide it under here and just make a flip flap here. I do have some little videos of her playing with her bubble gum, so I'm thinking I may put those on a little QR code and put maybe on the back of that, and we'll make that into another flip flap there. But as far as paper choices, there's lots of pink, so I think I definitely want to use the pink flowers down here. I was thinking of maybe taking this pink right here and running some across the top and running a strip across the bottom. And then for something in the middle, I'm thinking this pattern. I had thought about this smaller scale with the pink on it, but that may be too much pattern paper right together. So I'm thinking that this pink right here will just set this right here off. So I think we're going to go with that. Well, let's get those cut down and see what they look like, and we'll see if we need anything else. All right, I got those papers cut down and adhered down. I did go ahead and ink distress around just these darker sheets with basic gray. I just took my edge distresser and gray ink, and you just flick around the edges and it puts that little defining line on there, just gives it a little definition. I decided not to distress the pink sheets. I think what I'm going to do, I have this Secret C that I found, little strips of Secret C, and I think I'm going to stick those right down in there like this. And that'll give that the edge distress or the edge definition we need off of there. So let's go ahead and bring our photos back in and see what we have so far. So I have these down here, and I'm going to have a flip flap to go on top of this one. Then we had this one here. It's our main photo. This one here, and this one here. And I think for our photo mats, I'm going to bring in basic black. That's just going to help bring that secret C and black color around the page. So we're going to mat all of our photos in basic black, and it is the true side, the darker side of, because you can see that the cardstock is two-toned. This would be the light side, and this is the true side. We are using the true side. So I'm going to stick a photo mat under all of these. And then for these 3 photos, I have cut 1 mat. We're going to slide this under all of these and just make this 1 mat right across the bottom. There we go. I think this is looking good. Okay, for our embellishments, I am going to bring in the Secret Garden die cuts that match this set. They are no longer available, but they have some great flower dies in here. I don't have the stamp set, I only have the die set, but you layer these up to make flowers. Let me show you what I have cut. Here's some that I have cut. Like this one was the 3 pieces, and then you can glue them together, and then this one will even sit right inside there, and you'll glue them up together and make a multi-dimensional. You can even pop these up on foam tape to give them even more dimension and make them stand off the page even more. But before we put these down, I want to go around, I want to do some inking on these. And I think we're going to do our inking in Secret C. Not Secret C, Strawberry Slush. I'll just tap off a lot so we can get it a little lighter. There are some darker flowers in this paper though. You'll notice the smaller dark flowers here. And then we'll be embellishing with some that are just a little darker to go around with these. So let me get this moved over and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. It's going to get us some scrap paper here. And then I'm going to take each of these. There's just some scrap paper. We'll need a blending brush and our ink pad. All right, we're gonna get, I don't wanna make them pink all the way to the edge. So I'm gonna tap off right here, and then I'm just gonna start blending very lightly. Very lightly, we'll put just a little bit of color on there. Then you can just keep going over it till you get it the color that you want. And I don't want to go all the way to the edge. So let's stop there on that one for now. Get a little more color. We're going to color. I'm just moving in a circular motion around those cut marks that it makes. It will really draw out those cut marks. Then let's put just a little bit on our last piece here. This is going to be the little piece that sits right in the front. So we'll glue that one right on there. Might come up with some ink just a little higher on that one since that one sets up so high. So let's go ahead and bring some of that color out to the edge of this one. See how that worked. All right, I like that. And we'll bring this one right down in the little, maybe just a little more ink on this one. so they can poke out of those layers, and you can see that pretty pink color. All right, here we go. So I think I'll get that popped up on some dimensionals, and we'll get the rest of our flowers inked. Then we'll come back and build our clusters. All right, in this same Secret Garden set, we have this little die right here. And this is where I'm going to bring in some of the little darker flowers, like these little darker flowers that's in this paper. And to make these, I cut one of these. I use this die right here and cut it in green. And then it has this little die to cut out just the little flower parts. So we're going to cut that out of Secret C, and then we'll glue them onto one of these stems. We're going to put just a little dot of glue on each one of these flower tops. And then they're pretty easy to match up. You can look at the shape on here. And that one goes right there on the top. You just match it up and stick it down. I'll get all the rest glued on, and then we'll get our clusters made. All right, I have all my pictures here down. We have all those flowers inked up and the little ones glued on. So we're ready to start building our clusters. So we're just going to spread these flowers around the layout. I also have some bubbles that I found on the Cricut, just some little Cricut cuts that I'll disperse those throughout some of these clusters as well. I want to make one here, one down here, and one here, and I do have my title as well. I did pop this flower, each layer up on foam tape just to give that a little dimension right there. All right. I'm not sure about these. We're gonna leave those two big ones there. These little buds have a little green stem they fit on. So we can put some of those in our clusters. And then some of our the darker ones there. And we need to add some leaves. Let's go ahead and add some leaves in here. And then we're going to see what it looks like if we add a few little bubbles in there. All right. Let's move over to this one. Put that there. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take just a small cluster to make maybe a double cluster of flowers right here. I'm going to add some balloon or some bubbles in. All right. Maybe just a small bubble down here. I'll add some of these darker flowers here and some leaves. All right. I'm liking that. Let's go ahead and add another one of these. In there. All right, it's looking good. Let's add some leaves on our bottom cluster here. A little small leaf back here. Pull those bubbles up. All right, I think that looks good. These little tiny bubbles in there. Some more. All right. I like that. And then for our title, I have cut our title out on the Cricut as well. Little bubbles and big smiles. She definitely had some big smiles. She was loving her bubbles. And I think to make that stand out a little more, we're going to do a little ink blending behind there with our strawberry slush ink. Let me get a blending brush. And what I'm going to do is kind of tap off where that, let me just find some scrap paper. All right, here's just some scrap paper. Just tap off on there, and we're just going to make a little glow of pink for that title to sit on. Bring that back in, kind of see how far out we need to go. A little bit farther. I'll pull that out here and pull it right out a little bit more here. All right. I think that probably looks good. So I'll get this out of the way. Also have some glitter leaves to add some bling to our embellishment clusters. Everybody likes a little bling. So I cut some leaves. I cut these from the Changing Leaves die set. That is a retired set now. But I love this little leaf that is cut out. It just makes a great embellishment in your clusters. So I'll add a couple of these in to each cluster. Then I'll get all of this glued down. And then we will get some finishing touches. All right, one more little one here. All right. Okay, so I'll get this glued down and I'll be right back. All right, got those clusters adhered down, got my title adhered down. Let's bring back in this sticker sheet and let's pull off some of these stickers. I like several of these. We've got Loving This, Good Times, Oh Happy Day. Let's see where we can put those. I think we're going to stick Good Times. Oops. Let's get it straight. Stick Good Times right there. No, it's still not straight. Okay, we'll fix that in just a second. Loving This. Oh, Happy Day. All right. Let's fix this up. we're going to put our flip flap right across there, so I'm going to move this on over here. All right, so we have our photos for our flip flaps right here. And since I didn't leave a space for journaling, I'm going to use the back side of this for journaling. So I'll get a journal spot set up in there. And okay, for the journal blocks, or for the flip flaps, I mean, if you haven't ever used flip flaps, you're going to go, this has a little strip right here that's sticky. So you'll peel this all the way off, you'll fold it under, and it sticks right to your page protector. Then when you put that in and flip it up, then you have extra photos and pictures. And there are different ways to do it. I'm going to put mine on the outside of my page protector. You can do it and stick it right to your page right here, and then you cut a slit in your page protector and send it through. But I'm going to adhere mine to the outside. So I'll adhere it right to the page protector, and then when I flip it up, I'll have my journaling here and the second picture underneath. All right. When you put your pictures in for your, if you're using more than one picture in your flip flap, make sure you flip them the correct way so that when it flips up, it is right side up. And then we'll stick this one on the outside of the page protector as well. All right, for my last and final touch here, I'm going to use the frosted iridescent dots. I'm going to use these pink ones right here. These, I believe, are part of the new Lights of Aurora set. But I thought these pink ones would go good with our little bubbles, and maybe even a few of these blue ones. So we're just going to put a few of these around in each of our clusters and around our title. All right. Just a few around here. We'll put one here in the middle. Put it kind of on the flower there. Well, I can get it off on my finger. All right. Go ahead and put one of these blue ones up here. And I'll put a blue one here. And maybe just a couple over here. A couple in this cluster. All right. I believe that looks good. Let me just lay these to the side for right now, and I'll give you a close-up look of these. I'm not sure. I know my phone went off a while ago, but I did take some stickers off of the sticker sheet and add here. I believe the camera did not catch that. I didn't notice that my phone had gone off. So we did add a few of the stickers from the sticker sheet. But I believe we're going to call that finished. I'll give you a close-up look at those gems. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you give a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe so you can see more videos that I make. This sketch was a sketch that was designed by Erin Jacobson. So if you haven't seen her video, that one didn't get glued down. We'll get that fixed. You can take a look at that, but she is very talented and makes some great sketches. All right, I believe that does it for this video. I hope everyone has a great day and come back again next time. Until then, here's a video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy.